overcome and legends live forever. Number 8 and number 24, the two numbers that are up in the rafters at Staples Center, due in large part to some of these career accomplishments for Kobe Bryant. His 15 All-NBA teams, remarkable. I'm sure Kobe will be honored again All-Star Weekend in Chicago a couple weeks from now. Let's take another look back at the life and times of a 20-year career that often made our jaws drop and made us stand up and cheer.
Kobe Bryant, everybody. I want you to stay relentless. The Black Mamba, you take us.
All right, I got you.
Okay? You're the man.
A long journey. We're ready to go. I don't want to be a one-man show.
I have decided to skip college and take my talent to the NBA.
Welcome to the Kobe Show. Take 2.
How you doing? My name's Kobe Bryant. Pleasure to meet you.
Kobe Bryant from Philadelphia / Italy. Mamba Kobe Bryant. Right.
Kobe Bryant from Lower Merion High School.
I'm going to go in there and I'm going to work hard every day.
I'm young, but I'm not going to back down from anyone. The most important thing is thinking longevity. You can't settle for this season. It's bigger than that. You have to keep working on your basketball skills every day.
Back downs, fadeaways.
Boom, 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 boom.
Round it. Don't touch me the rest of the scrimmage. Put your hands off me.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry.
Kobe. Y'all know me. Put them hands up. On fire. Here at Team Up.
Killer crossover, Kobe. Black Mamba, out slithering around.
Obi-Wan Kenobi fluent in Italian, too. I want to tell y'all that, too, man. The time is now.
Between the legs, Kobe Bryant.
The crowd got me real pumped up after the dunk, so the only thing I felt like doing was flexing.
It's time to play, man. We gotta have some fun.
The only time I've been nervous for a game is '98, my first All-Star game.
All-Star game, How real is that, though? You know what I mean?
No, it seemed like yesterday. It was in New York City.
right?
No, that's crazy.
My first All-Star game, you was in elementary school.
No doubt.
Mr. Bryant, I wonder if you'd mind signing an autograph.
Oh, sure.
You got any advice for him?
For Kobe Bryant?
Yes.
Go heat up.
All right.
Heat up and get loose.
How you doing, man? Privacy, please. Thank you. What's up, baby? Man, slow motion, man. Slow motion.
Kobe Bryant, 20 years in the NBA, 18 All-Stars.
Been playing the NBA more than half my life.
I couldn't be more proud of you than if you were my own son, man.
After you fake the ball, where else you gonna go?
You left your feet.
Yeah, but where else you gonna go?
In the game, I go for you.
I spun all the way around.
I go for these ribs right here.
Right.
Bryant passes by Michael Jordan as the all-time scorer in All-Star play.
Good run. Hey, Matt.
And they have done it at the expense of their arch rival from Boston.
Go, boy. Back to back.
I told you was gonna get it, man. I told you
He got me a ring.
Told you.
Yeah, bring it in. Bring it in one more time. Yes, sir.
Bring on 3. 1, 2, 3. Epic. This was epic.
I had no idea how it was going to happen, but I knew we were going to win. Like, this is supposed to happen.
Wow, diamo tu. Ciao.
I hope people appreciate what we've seen from Kobe Bryant.
Kobe Bryant officially passes Michael Jordan for third place on the NBA's all-time scoring list.
It's been fun. It's been amazing playing against this younger generation, seeing them grow up after all these years. And I guess it's a wrap. I see you when I see you.
Kobe Bryant, one of the greatest players to play the game.
And today we are live on NBA TV covering the unfortunate death of Kobe Bryant at the age of 41. As I mentioned earlier, we are just 26 days into this year. And it has sucked, let's be honest. We have lost 2 legends. We lose David Stern to start the year, and today, Kobe Bryant. Appreciate you being with us. Kevin McHale,
NBA world almost, nearly saw history. And that's Wilt Chamberlain's record was challenged by Kobe Bean Bryant, the Black Mamba.
Yeah, the whole night just kind of felt like a blur. You know what I mean? It just kind of felt like he was just in almost like a trance almost, and not really understanding or being able to grasp what happened. It's a very bizarre feeling.
We figured if we stop Kobe and make him shoot jump shots early, that we'll have a better chance of winning, because we didn't believe no one else on the team was going to be that effective. So we went into a soft zone.
Kobe Bryant scored 26 in the first half. It wasn't necessarily alarming for our coaching staff and our team because it was a close game, and we were actually ahead for parts of the game. It was the second half when he put up a double nickel is when things got crazy.
Well, Kobe's got his stroke. See if he can add to it. Yes, he does. You talked about him being in one of those zones. Yeah. He's definitely in it right now. Here's Kobe again. Yes, sir.
Morris Peterson, he was the main culprit in the beginning. He was known as a very good defensive player, but because of the foul trouble, we had to put Jalen on him. Jalen wasn't really known for a defensive stopper, but because of his height and his length, we felt like, Jalen would do a pretty good job against him.
It was a rotisserie. It was a buffet of guys that were on Kobe Bryant, but it didn't matter.
That was the first time that I played against him as a rookie, and it was an eye-opener. I consider that game my initiation into the NBA as a rookie.
My opinion, and I said it multiple times during that game, how about we consider double teaming him? As a matter of fact, triple teaming him.
The real question is why you're looking for double teams. That's like playing defense, waving a white flag.
He never said a word. He never pointed and said, it's all about me. Never talked trash.
That was the worst defensive sequence the Raptors have played tonight.
Somebody should have knocked him on the ground maybe once or twice, just to make a point saying, it's not going to be this easy.
For three again, yes! 70 points for Kobe. Kobe's got the Laker record. History tonight at Staples Center.
It was like a video game. If you're out there playing NBA or 2K, those kind of numbers are played on video games, and that's exactly what it seemed like.
And an 81-point game, 55 in the second half.
Once a great player gets going, there's no stopping all-time greatness. Kobe put the smackdown to the tune of 81 big points on that given evening.
Listen to this crowd for number 8, Kobe Bryant.
I was there. I was at that game that night.
What was it like? Just take me inside the emotions.
If you remember from that season,
yeah.
That season Kobe scored his highest scoring average in the history of his career.
Oh, that season?
That season. Okay. There was a game earlier, about a month prior to that, at Staples Center against the Mavericks. Okay. Kobe scored 62 points by the end of the third quarter. The Mavs only had 60. He had 62, the Mavs had 60, and Phil Jackson did not put him back into the game. Oh. He didn't play the fourth quarter. He stopped at 62. So that season, Kobe was going off for these, wild scoring games. It felt like nightly, right? And I remember that game. He only had like 20-something at half, and I was working. I did the halftime show, and then I went and met one of my friends at the start of the third quarter just to, catch up, whatever. Sure. And all of a sudden, you just hear more and more cheering from Staples Center. I'm on the concourse, so I look inside. I was like, yo, I got to go. So we go back to the studio, and then it just starts erupting. Right. When Kobe scored 55 points, I believe, in the second half, to have 81 on that night, and it was one of the more amazing performances I've ever witnessed in person. I've been fortunate to see some really cool stuff in my career, but to be in the house when Kobe dropped 81, the second highest total in NBA history, Zubin, it's hard to put into words what it was like watching it, whether you were a fan or not, just to be in the presence of greatness in that moment was phenomenal.
January 22nd, 2006, was the date. And got to mention, this is a guy that scored 60 points in his final NBA game, and that was only the second best performance he had from an individual perspective. If you think about it, there are thousands upon thousands of people that had gathered outside the Staples Center to pay their respects to Kobe Bryant. Michael and I have been on the air for about 4 hours, and we saw the crowd when it was small, then it got into the hundreds, and now it is morphed.
I'm really just, excuse me if I'm at a loss for words, because I am.
Hey, can I say something else, too?
I really am.
And I know everybody deals with loss in their own ways. I've had 10 pictures from random people that have been sent to me of me and Kobe. I don't know if they want me to post that or, like, that's not, no. Like, it's a moment of silence. We lost somebody, a great player in this game, you know, and I respectfully disagree with the league stance. I think we should not be playing games today. I know I could potentially lose my job for saying that. It is what it is. But I just feel like this is it's one of the greatest we've ever seen to do this. That's who we lost today.
Yeah. Superstars like Kobe Bryant aren't supposed to be lost. They're supposed to live forever.
We're supposed to get a chance to be a grandfather.
Yeah.
Like, we want our stars to hopefully get a chance to be elderly, so we can celebrate all of the things that they can accomplish. And this is truly devastating.
This is a loss that is being felt across the NBA family, but it certainly in the city of Los Angeles, where he spent his whole NBA career. And that's where we send it now to Rachel Nichols, who is in our studios, which is across the street from the Staples Center, for more reaction. Rachel?
Thank you, Cass. I mean, I don't know what else can be said on this very extremely sad day. We are across the street from the Staples Center, which was Kobe's home for 20 years. It's just so surreal right now. There are hundreds of people out there in the plaza downstairs from us, just standing there, trying to make sense of something that doesn't make sense, just wanting to be somewhere they can cry together, with Kobe's face staring down at them from these giant screens up all around the plaza. And also, guys, the Grammys are at Staples Center tonight, so there is also the odd person walking around down there in a tuxedo. None of it seems real. Richard, you faced Kobe on the court for 15 years. You played in NBA Finals against him. How did you find out this morning about what happened, and what were the conversations with people that you're close to?
Honestly, it was crazy. You know, I'm with my son and getting ready to take him to swimming, and all of a sudden I get this message about what's going on. And I had to tell him, I was like, buddy, I can't take you to swimming today. I was like, I have to go talk about basketball. And he's like, Daddy, are you sad? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, did something bad happen? And I'm like, I didn't have the heart to tell him. I didn't have the heart to tell him, even at 5 years old, you know, what was going on, because I didn't want to do that, then have to send him off. And everyone is dealing with emotions right now, even being on, you know, a group text, and, you know, different guys, you know, LeBron, JR, Tristan, a bunch of the guys that we were fortunate to win a championship with. All of us are sitting there in disbelief. You know, the guys were flying in, so we start sending text chains like, is this real? Is this what's going on? Like,
the Lakers were on their plane from Philadelphia to Los Angeles when this news broke, and they had to deal with it together, but in the air, detached from everything.
Yeah, and they couldn't, you know, people are trying to contact wives and friends and contact his family, and there's so many, you know, I'll say this, when my father passed last year and TMZ was the first one to break it, right? Like, you know, immediately there's validity to this thing. Like, you know, say what you want about them, that this is what they do. Yeah. And so even though all the information was there was enough information to be like, wait a second, you have to take a moment and pause. And it was, you know, again, you know, Bron's devastated, right? And I'm not going to speak for him and his, you know, he's going to have his moment, but to have this happen after there's been so much talk in the week of, you know, him passing him in scoring. And I say that only because he always looked up to him, and that was someone that he chased.
LeBron was so eloquent last night. I was in the locker room with him after the game, and he was just so emotive talking about Kobe Bryant, how Kobe had been there for him from the time he was a teenager. He told the story about how when he was 15 years old, Kobe gave him a pair of shoes and encouraged him. And even though Kobe's shoe size was a size smaller than LeBron's shoe size, he said, I stuffed my feet into those shoes and I wore them the next day, actually playing a high school game against Carmelo Anthony's high school team. I mean, that's how woven in to the game Kobe was with so many people. To me, anything we do going forward in the NBA is going to have a bit of a hole in it, because Kobe Bryant is supposed to be there for everything. Certainly expected to be inducted into the Hall of Fame this fall. Fizz, you grew up in Los Angeles, and you have seen this town go through so many phases where really sports was the only thing holding it together.
Yep.
What did Kobe Bryant mean here?
Well, you know, I was thinking about it when I got the news. D-Wade was the first one to text me, and obviously he had a tremendous impact on LeBron and D-Wade and those guys that I was around. They talked about the Olympics a lot with him. But for someone that grew up here in Los Angeles, I was thinking, like, you know, there was 3 things in my upbringing coming through Los Angeles that just tore me apart. You know, one was when Magic announced he had HIV. You know, we broke down crying for Magic. The LA riots, you know, when the city burned. And then none, for some reason, more has hurt me more than this moment right here, to lose Kobe being Bryant. You know, his impact on this city, you know, and you know, our prayers and thoughts obviously go to his family, but he has a large family. And it's all of us here in Los Angeles and around the world, but especially here in LA, because, you know, for a guy to play 20 years in the same city, and I thought there would never be another thing like Showtime.
Yeah.
There would never be another a run like that, a player like Magic Johnson who could just bring people together and just cheer his name and just, you know, and I remember going to those parades as a kid and seeing him on the floats, and it was what encouraged me to want to be a champion and to want to chase greatness, and I never thought that would happen again. And then here comes this kid, Kobe Bryant, who just took the city by storm. And, you know, not just the basketball impact, but what he was in the community and what he did for our community. And I was thinking about how you remember those games against Utah early in his career where he shot all those air balls. And for his last game to be against Utah, and he scored 60 points.
60 points.
You know,
it was one of the most amazing nights that I've gotten to cover. We got to cover so many with him. We're going to spend the rest of this evening paying tribute to him. I do want to say, though, we also lost his 13-year-old daughter.
It's just horrible.
And in recent years, for me, one of the things that was so special was getting to see the side of Kobe that was the dad who would physically pull you by the arm to show you pictures on his phone of his daughters, who would brag about them. Just in these last 4 or 6 weeks, Kobe and Gianna were at a series of tournaments for 8th graders that our Tracy McGrady was also at with his 8th grader. And the 2 of them would sit in the stands together, Tracy McGrady and Kobe Bryant. I teased them, they were my 2 dads, watching their children and getting to live through another phase of how things in this game will go on. Kobe Bryant will have an impact on all of us and on this game of basketball forever. And we will be talking about that